I'm cuddling up with my cup this morning. It's one of those mornings where you feel like, ooh, you just can't wait until you get that warm going on in you. We've kind of had the cold kind of move on in, only in the morning, mind you. It's just that morning change of the season, and it only lasts for a minute, but ooh, anyway, it's here. Feels like we were just here. And we were. I was just streaming live last night doing my weekly read. But as always, here we are having a cup of glow this morning. Look, ready for our word of encouragement and advice this morning. Wow, September 10th. It's my brother's birthday. Yesterday was my sister's birthday. September feels like a really happening month. You know, it's on a low tone though, versus July, and you know, it's the upswing and everything's happening, and it just, people are playing. Now people are battening down the hatches. They're getting into school. They're starting classes and settling in. And there's just a totally different feeling I've noticed. Well, so here we are. It's the 10th. We're a third through September, which is just unbelievable. So, let's just see what we're up against. It kind of feels like from yesterday's or last night's weekly reading that it's going to be kind of a week of challenge, maybe, perhaps. And we need to kind of prepare for that, whatever it is. So I ask my guides and angels as I was saying my prayers today, asking and meditating, please help us have a card, bring us a card that might help us with whatever challenge we're dealing with, whatever thing it is, what stuff is coming our way. The card that I pulled, and by the way, I'm using Colette Baron Reed's Wisdom of the Hidden Realms book decks because they're just so beautiful, and they they give great information. The card of the day, if you can see it without reflection, that's funny, without reflection, it is the Lady of the Mirror. This is a beautiful card. I wish you could see it without that light, but here she is, sitting at the edge of a pond and looking at her reflection. It's a lovely card. And the words on it are reflection and non-judgment. Also, the number is 44, which is, I love numbers too. Numbers are a whole different language. And in angel numbers, 44 would be representative of the angels are talking to you, and they're with you, and they're working with you. So let's keep that in mind, that number. And let's just talk about reflection and non judgment. This is a relationship card. How are your relationships going? You know, are people ticking you off? Or are you just really happy with the people that you're around? The interesting thing about relationships is the people in our lives that are our relationships, even if they're work relationships, friend relationships, they come as teachers. And they are generally come at a time when they need to reflect to us what it is we need to learn. And generally, what we see in them, and it's usually the stuff that bugs us, is what reflects back to us. Okay? We see ourselves in them and then it reflects. They act as a mirror. So let me just read to you this little indicator here. The Lady of the Mirror is both ally and challenger. So, friend and foe. It's our best friend and probably our worst enemy, right? And isn't that speaking of how we are too, of ourselves? Asking you to see yourself in the mirror made by the events in your life. She represents the powerful force of the law of attraction and reminds you that you are what you are is what you attract. And that sometimes is hard to swallow because it's taken me a long time in my life to be able to say, hey, if there's something about you that I'm not happy with, that's reflecting to me something I need to work on. That is kind of hard to swallow. This isn't to say that you need to blame yourself or for inviting transgressions, or if you find yourself a victim of a big picture event, say a war, or you're born with a handicap, or your house catches on fire, or these things that are sometimes circumstances beyond your control. This is a distorted interpretation of this law. Certain events are fated to test our faith. Rather, find yourself within the web woven throughout your life. Take a look at your life events, your relationships, opportunities, desires, seeming failures, and successes. Observe how you have responded to life's challenges, great or small, and be aware of what is familiar in the present. Are there patterns that are repeating? Do you find yourself always in a certain way? Release all judgment. Okay, so don't beat up on yourself. Release all judgment from yourself. Release all judgment from others. Everyone has shown up just exactly the way that they were supposed to. We are evolving, and all of these opportunities give us a chance to evolve and to become the better, the higher self of who we want to be. Release all judgment and accept all things exactly as they are with love. The Lady of the Mirror asks you to honor every part of your story, every part of your story, as essential to your highest unfolding. That means everything's important. Everything that's happened and everything that will is really important. It's a very important part of unfolding of your story. We wouldn't leave out the first chapter of our story. We wouldn't leave out the 5th chapter. We wouldn't leave out the 9th. We wouldn't leave out the final. We wouldn't leave out any of it because then the story just wouldn't make sense. But as we look at things from the bigger picture and the higher perspective, we can see a natural unfolding. And one thing leads us to another, and then to another. And then we get to see what it is that we need to work on. When we reflect on our lives and our relationships, we can see from the bigger picture how we respond in certain events, how we respond to certain people, what we should repeat, what we shouldn't repeat, how we can do things a little bit better. Do you love what you see in the mirror? Can you perceive your part in your reflections and your motives behind your current inquiries? You will find the answers in a thorough and honest self appraisal. And I think that's really a part of the deal is that we give ourselves a really thorough and honest appraisal of ourselves. It's really easy to pass judgment on other people and say, yeah, well, if they weren't like this, then blah, blah, blah. Or because of this, then blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm responding because of blah, blah, blah. But who are you? What is your spirit all about? What do you want it to be about? What do you want to see when you look in the reflection? When you look in a mirror and look back, what do you want to see? Be that you want to see. That's what's so important is that we are what we want to have. If you want to have great relationships, be a good friend. If you want to have love in your life, love. If you want to be organized and see a beautiful home when you walk in, clean off the countertop. If you want your car, talking to myself here, if you want people to drive with you in your car and you want to have it not look like an unkept office, take a garbage bag when you go out and get in and fill it up and organize and clean. Do those things that you really want. And then you will be happy with your reflection. That's the message of the card today, Lady of the Mirrors. So it's just a check and sync day. When we're dealing with people, remember, or even if we're just dealing with ourselves, do your thoughts reflect what you really feel in your heart? If you think your life isn't what you want, but you know you are a divine being, and you're beating up on yourself, then you really don't know the extent of your divinity yet. And it's time to start treating yourself just a little bit better because we've got to love ourselves first before we can love someone else. So be that person that you want to be. Be that reflection. That's the message today. Hope you have a really great day. And if there's a situation or something that you're trying to overcome so that you can reflect something better, drop us a note. Let's get a conversation going. Maybe others can respond. Maybe others can give you an experience or share something that might be helpful. I'd love to give you my feedback. And if not, just thank you for taking the time to watch. Please, after you watch, if you like this message, please like it, share it, and let's bring this morning message to other people so that we can create a community of a soulful guild, people that we love to share our day with and love to start our day with. Cup of glow to you. Hope you have a beautiful day.